Hello and welcome to another beautiful day on Oweleke TV. It is outnumbered live on your screen. Well, the day is so bright. It's a beautiful day. And of course, we have come to bring you to speed with the headlines for the day. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and of course, I have Antonia Nwokolo in the building.
Good morning, Ramsey.
Good morning, Antonia. And I also have to my left, Christopher Sunday. You're nodding your head. Say something to the people.
The Agama lizard. Good morning and welcome to Oweleke TV.
All right, let's bring you to speed with the headlines for the day. I would like to start with the Daily Trust newspaper, where I have a lot of stories, but then I'm just going to be taking a few out of the stories. And above the header, I have the story. Below the header, I beg your pardon. This one says, reps to conclude Constitution Amendment in 24 months. That is from the Daily Trust newspaper. Then I also have this one, water scarcity hits FCT. Water scarcity hits FCT. A bag of sachet water is about 600 naira right now in my location. I don't know how it is in your own location, but then there is scarcity of water in FCT. We're talking about FCT
in
here.
this location, in this very location.
In this very location.
In this very location. I don't want to mention them. In this very location is 600 naira.
600 naira. So I don't know what has informed that, you know. All right, let's get to the big story for the day, which is also coming from the Daily Trust newspaper. And it says a protest in Lagos, Osun and Edo over hardship. I just have about 3 riders to that story, and I'll be done after these riders. Federal government labor meeting deadlocked. Then this one says, IG puts officers on red alert, warns troublemakers. That's one of the problems. Okay, people shouldn't hijack this protest because, of course, this protest is of a paramount importance to Nigerians. Then the last rider to that story says, begin food importation now. TUC tells federal government, begin food importation. But then, the land is green. We have enough. We have enough. We should go into agriculture instead of, I don't know, of importing. We should go into agriculture. Let's make the environment conducive enough for the farmers, so they can go back to the farm.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is that, yes, the land may be green, but in all sincerity, do we have security? There are places in Nigeria where farmers pay the Boko Haram kidnappers for them to sustain their farm. The land may be green.
You mean they make payments?
Payment for them to access their farm.
Meaning they know who these kidnappers,
they know, the government knows.
Are.
Yes, of course they know. They pay
and
for
even
them.
the farmers.
Yes, the farmers know, but they pay for them to access their farm, for them to farm.
All right, if they know these people, why not just bring them to book so that they can just be arrested once and for all instead of just paying them? That's corruption, man. All right, let's get to the next paper, which is going to be coming from Antonia. Let's get to the next paper.
All right, on the Punch newspaper today, police deploy anti-riot squad as NLC holds protests today. Now, the rider to that story, Inspector General warns against violence, orders full deployment for protesters' protection. We can get the details of that story on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. The next headline will be taken is actually the big story on the Punch newspaper. 12 years after Tinubu adopts Oronsaye's report, merges agency. And the riders underneath, Tinubu orders SGF panel to implement measures in 12 weeks. Minister rules out job losses. Then the next rider says, NDPHC Diaspora Commission, 2 orders moved to ministries. PT AD abolished. Now, the final headline will be taken on from the Punch newspaper. Customs suspend rice sale after 7 die in stampede. The details of that story you can get on page 27 of the Punch newspaper.
All right, thank you very much, Antonia, for that. I think one of those headlines actually caught my fancy, talking about the Oronsaye's report 12 years after.
12 years after.
I don't know what they were waiting for, but then let the implementation come so that we can see what will come out of it.
Ramsey, the truth of the matter is that Jonathan's government, probably, maybe because we are not even aware of what democratic system of government is or was in this country. Jonathan's government, or Yaradua's government, Yaradua Jonathan government,
Jonathan, yeah,
actually were laying the best foundation for Nigeria for democracy to thrive. 12 years ago, Jonathan was the president of this country.
yes, and of course, the fact that Jonathan was able to bring together technocrats,
Yes.
and they deliberated and they came up with so many submissions, but
Exactly.
then it was not implemented.
There is another report.
And the problem we have in this country
Yeah.
is that there is no continuity in
Yes.
governance.
Exactly.
You come, you start your
You
own.
start your
own
own, you
project.
abandon.
No continuity,
Yes.
whether the past administration had something
In
good or
mind,
not.
Exactly.
You don't even care about what's on ground. You just come and you start what's on your own mind.
Exactly.
I think that's
That's not
one of the
good.
reasons why Nigeria keeps incurring a lot of debt.
And debt.
Because you would need monies to fund these new projects that you're
Exactly.
embarking on.
And the more they
And
borrow, the more they accumulate
yes,
wealth for
and
Exactly.
you
themselves.
have
The
so
more they
many,
steal.
and you have so many abandoned
Servicing of loan.
projects.
Nigeria the federal government just finished paying the Chinese loan. You need to see the
Are you
interest
sure
rate.
we'll be able to finish paying this Chinese loan?
Yeah, from the report last weekend, Nigeria has already finished paying the Chinese loan
That's a good
with
one.
900 and something million naira interest. Yes.
900 and something million. All right, let's get to the
Interest.
newspaper, which is going to be The Guardian, coming from Mr.
Yes,
Christopher.
and from the Guardian newspaper, impending strike, FG ASU in endless tango over unfulfilled promises. I think the federal government should also consider ASU. The front and back policy, front and back negotiation between the federal government and ASU ought to have come to an end.
Well,
Just recently, the 10th Assembly came on. All the acts from the federal government, the Jeep, the Prado, and everything, each of the senator have two Prados. So why can't the federal government fulfill their what's it called promises to the ASU? We keep on going front and back, and it's affecting the students. And by affecting the students, it's also affecting the future of the nation.
One thing that the federal government has actually failed to know is the fact that there are so many things battling with the economy of this nation. You know what it means, all right,
Yeah.
for the educational system to be down.
Yes.
You know what it means to have half-baked students,
Graduates, yeah.
graduates.
Exactly.
You know what? You don't know how much these people contribute to the economy if they are doing well. These are some of the things that the government have neglected, all right? And it is not supposed to be. Let the conducive environment be there. These people are lecturers. They've gone through so much.
Exactly.
Okay? And what people in politics take home is way beyond or more than what these lecturers
Exactly.
take home.
It's in
And
Nigeria.
the lecturers are the ones
And
doing
the
the
nation
job.
builders.
They are
And
the
a
nation
professor
builders.
in Nigeria will be taking like 500,000 naira salary, while somebody, his student, while he was in this class, is now receiving almost 13 million naira salary.
No, that one happens anyway. It happens because sometimes your students can do better than you.
Yeah, you know they
Yeah,
say the
yes.
servants will be greater than the master.
master.
kind of
Exactly. But
scenario.
in this case, it is overbloated proportionally.
I think what the federal government should do is just encourage these lecturers.
All right, let's go ahead with the Guardian. Ex-permanent secretary plan colloquium to boost public service. Honor Asiodo. I think I know Philip Asiodo. Philip Asiodo is a philosopher, economics, and whatever. I think I met him in Victoria and Lagos about 10 years ago. And his wife, he is from Delta State, and the wife is a Yoruba man from Lagos State. A very nice man, intelligent. He contested primaries with Obasanjo, but of course they asked him to step down. Up until today, he's one of the best Nigerians ever, and he was the classmate of the renowned late what's his name now? The man from the East. I can't remember his name.
There are many men from the East.
Yes,
so we wouldn't know.
the Abga man, the founder of Abga.
Okay, the founder of
the
Abga.
founder of Abga.
Okay.
That Ojuku. Yes, he was classmate of It was a classmate to
Odumegu.
Odumegu Ojukwu. Yes, exactly. They are the first two Nigerians to attend the university there in abroad. Hardship. FG Labour in emergency talk over planned nationwide protests. And the big story there on the Guardian is after bloated cabinet, Tinubu OK's Orosanye's report merge MDS. And that'll be the size of our story from the Guardian this morning.
Then finally, let's take you to the Vanguard newspaper where we have this one above the header which says Tinubu reduces 263 MDAs to 161 as FEC adopts Orosanye's report. Well, I think this is a good news. Then this one is coming from the Vice President Shetima. He says Nigeria will work if Southeast works optimally. I don't know what he meant by that, and just one writer to that story.
He made that allusion at what's it called, Abia State, where he went to commission a project by just 10 months serving governor.
10 months serving
just
governor.
In 10 months. The wonder that man is bringing forth in Abia State, I think, is unprecedented.
All right, just one writer to that story. Light Up Nigeria project will spur Southeast industrialization, says Mba. Then the big story, which is going to be the last from here. Hardship ahead NLC rally. Protests rock Edo, Lagos, and Osun State. I have some writers to that story. The first writer says, a fixed economy or resign. Edo CSOs tell Tinubu. Another one says we will defend protesters nationwide. This is coming from the police headquarters as the policemen on red alert nationwide. Then another writer says once impostor against hijack. Then finally, CSOs ask members, Nigerians, to join NLC protests. And that's going to be the size of the headlines from the various papers this morning. You can just get to your vendor and pick any of these papers and go through any of the headlines that catches your fancy. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return back and it's going to be time for the big story. Don't go nowhere. We will be right back.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleke TV. Visit our website at www.oweleke.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleke TV, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. It is still at Numbered Live on your screen with Ramsey, Antonia, and of course Christopher right here. We told you on return from this break, it's going to be time for the big story. What's the big story all about? It's no longer news that hardship has eaten deeply into the fabrics of the nation. Everyone is being affected, from the young, the old, the working class, and people who are unemployed. And people cannot hold it anymore. Nigerians can't keep quiet anymore. They are taken to the street to protest. NLC already said they were going to start a protest, nationwide protest today and of course tomorrow. But then, before today, yesterday, some states, well, I think the heat was too much for them. That's what I perceive. And they said we can't even wait until the stipulated date for the nationwide protest by the Nigerian Labour Congress. And they took to the street yesterday in Lagos, Edo State, and Osun State over the hardship. And one thing is this: anytime strike action is coming up, the federal government will call on NLC and they will get into a closed door meeting. And after the closed door meeting, we don't get to hear anything again but that the strike has been suspended. But then, as it is, federal government and labor meeting end in deadlock. And that's the reason this is going to go ahead. And one good thing that we are getting to hear this morning is the fact that the defense headquarters have said, well, they will make sure there is enough security and everything will be done so that impostors will not hijack the protest of the day. I think hearing this morning, I was impressed. As a matter of fact, this protest is worth it. Okay. if there is anything that the federal government needs to do ASAP, is to make sure they cushion the effect of the subsidy removal, and of course calming down the hardship in the nation. Because if the people are not there, if the people are hard hit with hunger, there won't be anyone for you to govern. And this is the reason why you need to take this seriously, and not just traveling, and not just making policies that we don't know where it's actually going to get to. People keep saying there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. But then what will happen before we get to the bottom of the tunnel, the end of the tunnel? That's the big question this morning. So let's add our voice to the conversation this morning, as I begin with, of course, Christopher this morning. I don't know. NLC strike. Before the stipulated date for the NLC strike, Edo State and Lagos State and other states are already going into the protest. What do you think of this protest? What do you think will come out of this protest? Because before now, we've had protests, and at the end of the day, nothing comes out of it. Okay, but this protest, this is more like a reality. This is not like the game plans that we used to have in the past. What do you think will happen after this protest? Do you see this protest yielding any results?
That music, that particular track of Davido, them go feel it. Them go feel it now. It's not to Nigerians alone. I read on social media, people are saying when it's like Tinubu was the one that wrote that song for Davido. I'm telling you that the federal government go feel them this time around. With this protest, the police has come out to tell us that they are going to protect the protesters. Positive. Now, let us go by simple definition. We all know that democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But in summary, democracy is rule. The rule by the people. The people will dictate what the rulers of democratic leadership or system ought to do for them. If they are dying, if they are going through hunger in the land, it is their responsibility to cry out. That is what we are. That is what is happening. That is where we are right now.
Originally, that is how it's supposed to be.
That is what it
in
ought
advance
to be.
in advanced countries.
Exactly.
You know, when things are not going on fine,
Exactly.
I see people resigning from their position.
Exactly.
Politicians resigning and said, "Well, things are not going on. The people don't want me anymore. I'm not getting their support. Let me resign."
Exactly.
But in Nigeria here, I see politicians, people in governance, being adamant to the plight of the people. Even when the people said they don't need you, even when the people say they don't need certain policies, even when people say, well, the constitutional right of the people is being trampled on, they still go ahead because they feel it is their right. But as a matter of fact, masterhood is servanthood.
Exactly.
And that is what it's supposed to be. Okay,
servant leader.
A leader is supposed to be a servant. You are meant to serve the people. That is what leadership is all about.
Yeah, again, of course, we also read from all the newspapers this morning the 12 years recommendation. You see, that is to say the voice of the people. When the Latin adage, the Latin dictums tells you, vox populi, vox Dei, the voice of the people is the voice of God. It means a lot. Those who sat to coin that saying are not just they didn't just sit down to just coin it for the sake of coining. They know that no matter how difficult, how hard you think you are as a leader, by the time the people come together to tell you that this you are doing is not good. Have you ever experienced where children subject their parents into doing what they ought to do for them?
Well, if you don't do it, you must do it. It's either you do
One way
it or
the
you do
other,
it.
you find a way around
All right,
it.
so
Yeah.
Antonia,
Yes.
let me ask you this question.
Okay.
This strike is going on right now, and strikes have
Protest,
happened. Protests, I beg
yeah.
your pardon. The protest is going on right now. Okay, it's slated for today.
Today,
It
yeah.
may not have started, but it's going to hold today and tomorrow. And we've held protests in the past, and nothing happens. He said the federal government will feel it this time. But there are some persons that are still pulling out of this protest. Can we say Nigerians are not united? Why? Or you feel this strike is not worth it? Put yourself in the shoes of these people. Let's hear what your take will be.
So I feel the strike, the protest is worth it. We as a people have the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and protest is one of the ways citizens of a particular country express their grievances, tell the government what they feel is not right, and with the hope that the government will listen and proffer solutions to the existing problems. So now, we've heard in the past, we've seen in the past how hoodlums and different sects and groups hijack protests, and the intent of the protest, if the people come together, that pure intention doesn't come to fruition. The government does not, and they'll send security agencies after them to maybe stop the protest. And when they go into closed door meetings, these officials reach agreements that everybody just keeps their mouth shut. They don't say anything about it, and then we go back to the same situation. So this protest, I 100% support it. But are the security agencies guaranteeing us that lives and properties will be safeguarded? There will not be destruction of lives and properties, and we're not going to have a repeat of NSAS, because NSAS started with a clear intention, a clear motive, and all of a sudden on 20th of October we saw videos of Nigerians who lost their lives waving the Nigerian flag. So we hope that this protest does not bring a repeat of the NSAS.
But again, Antonia, do you know that an individual can actually go into protest and it to make meaning?
Absolutely.
That even though the leaders of NLC back out, because we have heard over time that once they meet with the power that be, they negotiate, and then personal interests come into it, and then they back out. But let me tell you something. Something happened, I don't know whether it was in Lagos or in Abuja recently. An individual wearing green, white, green with Nigerian flag.
It was in Lagos.
Okay, it was in Lagos. Yes. And then he was shouting.
In the market, and he was chased out also.
Yeah, by the police.
A police officer.
Yeah, I think he was shouting.
It's all about hunger.
It was
all about hunger. Hungry
day, with Nigerian flag.
Yes.
For me,
that's an individual.
Yeah.
That is murder.
See, the truth is this: Nigerians are hungry, and anything can happen. A hungry man is an angry man. By the time someone is being pushed to the wall, no matter how quiet you are, no matter how calm you are, you may explode. And this explosion may not be good for our society, may not be good for our economy. Please, something should be done, because this strike is a no-no. I know NLC will not take it lightly, because I don't think they will.
Take it lightly.
They will. I don't think they will. They will not take it lightly.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be the size of outnumber today, and the big story, of course. Well, as you go out to protest today, make it peaceful, all right? Don't do anything criminal. Don't take laws into your hands. Do the right thing and be guided, so that at the end of the day, we can have a good result. Nigeria is our nation. This is the only country that we have. Let's do everything possible to make it good and let it be what it was meant to be originally. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and it's been Antonia Nwokolo and Christopher Sunday. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye for now.